Okay, we're back. We've already done our smoky eye. I'm going to bring in my flashlight to give you a little bit of an idea how that looks under the light. So you can see the shimmer that we've got on there, which is nice. It just brings a little bit of highlight to your face. And now we're going to talk about lips. So even though we're on stage and we are going to do both lips and eyes, I would go either with kind of a bold lip and a little bit more neutral eye, so something that's not quite as dark as this. Maybe use colors that are kind of closer to your skin tone, so browns, pinks, stuff like that. And then do a really bold lip, or do a slightly more neutral lip and then do the fancy eyes. But if you're going for something more like character-y, then you can absolutely do both. That's really fun. Before you do anything with your lips, you want to line them. I have a clear liner because I use so many different kinds of lipsticks, but you can buy one that matches your lipstick. And you just go around the outside edge, and this keeps your lipstick from bleeding out. So this is actually a really important thing to do. It just sort of keeps your lipstick inside the lines. So big luscious lips are really in right now. I don't have those, so I gotta work with what shape I do have. If you do have nice full lips, or if you want them to look fuller, then you can take a colored lipstick liner and go like on the outside of your natural lip line, and that will make them look a little bit fuller. You can also do an ombre lip where you make the center lighter than the outside. I love this brand. It's Kat Von D. It comes in a tube like this, so it's like a liquid lipstick, but you put it on, and once it dries, it lasts forever. It will last through you eating, so it's a good lipstick to wear all night. This is a classic red, and it looks pretty good on everyone. The thing about reds is that they are tricky, so you gotta find a red that looks good with your skin. And the nice thing is, though, that red can actually be it can be a little more magenta, it can be a little more maroon, and it will still read as red on you. So I think they said something in the rules about not being crazy about red lipstick. I'm gonna go with one of my favorite. Well, first we'll put on this. So this is my Me But a Little Bit More lipstick. So it's roughly the same color as my lips, but a little darker. So there you can see, it just made my lips look like, it made them pop a little more without making them look like they're really done. You can come back in with another color. I like to mix lipstick colors. So I'm going to put a little bit of this brown on. And then again, that makes it just look a little bit darker. You can blot your lips if you're concerned about them kind of smearing or getting all over the place. The old trick for not getting them on your teeth is to use your finger and pull it out slowly, and it just pulls off the stuff that's kind of on the inside of your lip. So, and I didn't have any on, so that's good. If you want it, let's take this off. So, if you want to do something more dramatic, I'm going to go with the color that I will use as red, which is actually this kind of like pink magenta color, but because I have pinker skin, it looks better on me than the like classic red does. And now I like to do kind of, I make my mouth look a little bit rounder and a little bit more bow-shaped, which is kind of that like 20s Hollywood look. That I think is more flattering on me than going kind of just the whole lip. So the way we do that is we start at the we start at this part of the lip and kind of define that outline. Again, you don't have to. But see, we've just defined that little peak right there, which is kind of a fun look. And then the bottom. Now, notice I've only done the center of my lips, and this is how I'm going to make them look kind of rounder and more bow-shaped. So then what I'm going to do is use my finger to just blend outward a little bit. So in the same way that we blended the eye makeup, we're just going to pull out. Out and in, so that it kind of fades into your mouth as opposed to fading into your skin. You do want to wipe your fingers in between because you can accidentally smear it all over your face. So there you go. Now I've got kind of paler blended parts out to the sides, and then I've got the center is more saturated. And so for me, this is just kind of a fun, better shape that I like to do. And I think it goes nicely with the kind of glamorous look of the eye. A fun thing that is popular right now is to take a powder eyeshadow. They do lip powders at the drugstore, but I can't imagine that they're different from eyeshadows. If you're worried about it, pick a brand like Bare Minerals that you know is made of all natural stuff, and then you can dab that onto the lips. And then that will give you that nice kind of highlighted look in the center. You can also, this is a tip I learned from that makeover show on TV. You can use a little bit of your highlighter right here. You kind of pull it onto the top of your lip. And again, that just sort of like pulls focus. It makes you look a little more glowy. So that's kind of the glamorous look. Real quick, I'll show you how to do it, how to do that kind of same smoky eye, but with color. We'll use pink, because pink is fun. And in this case, we're only going to use 2 colors, not 3. So we're going to take, again, our dense brush. We're going to make sure it's clean. I have these ridiculous palettes. These are actually not all that great. I bought them on Amazon, but the colors are hard to get kind of feathered into a nice consistency. But it has lots of color, which I like. So I'm going to go with, I think this one, this kind of really bright pink, because that will be saturated. We're going to do the same move as the dark that we started with. So along the lash line, and then into the crease. And then we're going to wipe back away in the center of the eye. And we're going to take our feathering brush. With the colors, it's even more important to kind of blend and feather out. And sometimes with these, like if you're having a hard time getting your color saturated, you can use your finger, and often that will help it stick on more. So you can see I've got that same kind of smoky look with the pink. I'm going to bring a little onto the bottom lid. And then I'm going to come in with my light color and do the same thing where we come from the corner of the eye into the center. and drag it into that V so that we have that darker outline, but it's not like a solid wall of color. Let's try using a paler pink. I don't love that. I'm going to go back to the gold. White golds are always, they're like always a safe bet. I do want a shimmer because that's going to give that lightning effect. So there, I've got the same kind of smoky eye, but now I'm doing it in color, which is always fun. And I could put on the mascara and give you the full effect. You can also put a cat eye over this. If you don't want to do, the cat eye can be hard to get off. So if for some reason you know that you're going to be taking it off soon, you can use your liner brush to put on a colored eyeliner, or if you just want to do a colored liner. Let's try a purple cat eye. So now ideally you want to wet this. I forgot to do that, but that's okay. We're going to pick a darker purple. We're going to get it on both sides of the brush, fairly dense in there. And then we're going to use it, and notice this is a slanted tip. So you're going to start with the higher end out on the corner of the eye and then drag in. So you want to work with the brush. Let's add some blue in there. And this isn't working because these colors, as I said, are like not very saturated. You can layer more color if you want it to be kind of a more fun look. Let's just go with, we'll bring back in my black because that's really easy. Again, that's the Naked palette. Get that on the brush. And you don't have to do the lines the same way I did with the liquid liner because powder is going to be more forgiving. There. So I've got a similar effect to the other one. It's not as dramatic, but it's easier to take off. And I can do it with other colors. And if I had just wet this brush first, you would get a more saturated color. Or similarly, if I'd put on that black base. And then you can come back in. You don't really need to with this because it is a powder, but you can come back in with the pink and just brush over it a tiny bit to soften the line. And I just took, so we started with this color, and then I took a little bit of this color to put in the center of my eye, and that gave it a little bit of that pop effect, which I like. So I'm going to come back in with that. Okay, so now we have classic smoky eye, and then we have colored smoky eye. Both fun options. We didn't put the eyeliner or the mascara on this side because we're going to do more tutorials and it's hard to get mascara off. Let's do brows. Brows are hard. If you're someone like me who like only sort of has eyebrows when you see me in person, it's particularly difficult because you're not used to having that shape. So if you're someone who has pretty dark eyebrows already, it's not too bad. You just sort of go in with some powder and then like make that shape a little bit darker. If you're like me, you may have to try a couple more times to get the right shape for you. So I'll show you the shape that's kind of in fashion right now, which happens to work for me. But you want to make sure that your shape works with your eyebrows. And then the way you start, again, I'm going to take my little tilted brush again. The secret to doing your eyebrows, to picking your color, is to go lighter than you think it is. So, let's see, which one do I use? I often use this one here. Now, if you look at it right now, it looks lighter than my hair, but once you put it on, it's going to be darker. Redheads have the hardest time doing eyebrows because we don't have them. Even blondes, you can usually go a little bit darker and it doesn't look as strange because more people have gone blonde with dark eyebrows. So fortunately for you, you're probably going to have an easier time than I do. You know what, actually, I'm even going to go with this lighter color here. Instead of this one, I'm going to go here, a little blonder. Again, you can always go darker. So I'm going to put that on my brush and just tap off the extra. And then the key is to start with I start with the inside line, and then I highlight the top shape, and then I come in, and I don't ever draw the bottom line, I just sort of fade into it a little bit. So the shape that's kind of in is to do a straight line at the center here, and then you kind of pull out in an arch from there. So I started with my line here, and then I come out like this. And I want to make it thinner as I get to the outside edge. So it's thickest kind of from here over, and then you want to kind of fade out into a thin, like winged shape. And don't go too far away from your face because that can look weird. And notice I'm sort of rubbing it into my eyebrow hairs because otherwise you can end up with something looking patchy. You can often come back to this center and make it look less stark. I'm going to come in with that darker color that I was starting with and use that to make it look a little more defined at the inside. So I started with my lighter color and then I come back in with that darker color. This is looking strange, so I'm going to pull it a little more toward the center of my face. And watch out for how far down it goes. Okay, so as you can see, this is me with more eyebrows. This got a little thicker than I would like it to be. So a great thing to do is to come in with your foundation and just go right under the brow, and that will also help it have a more defined look, which is in right now. Having these kind of dark and defined eyebrows is the fashion, so good, that's easier to do. So I just dab it on my finger and then come in underneath. And then even if you haven't messed up your brows, this is going to give a little bit of highlight there on the brow line, which is nice, and make your eyebrows look kind of more defined. So again, there's the done, there's not done. I don't always do my eyebrows because I kind of like that, again, sort of slightly old Hollywood look where you don't have kind of defined brows, but this is very in. And if you're doing stage makeup, you might want to do your brows because it will help your face look more expressive. The key to doing brows is practicing, so make sure you try it before you go on stage. I also like to do it with color. I just think that's fun, so like often I'll do like a dark pink brow. I call them statement brows. And that just is like, again, it's more color on your face. A little harder to wear if you're like going out and about for the day, but nice when you're on stage to bring a little bit more color in if you want to have fun with that. So, okay, we've done colored smoky eye, brows, and lips. Another thing that you can do with your lips is put glitter on them. I know that they say no glitter. I posted in the PSO, someone was asking about glitter and makeup, and the answer is the venue is the one that set the rule, so you can't have glitter that falls off. If you're sticking it to your lips, you should be fine. You can also pat it onto your eyelashes right after you put the mascara on, and that gives you this sort of glittery halo around your eyes. Do be careful because when you put it on, you can see the glitter in your vision kind of around the outside, which I think is kind of fun, but may startle you if you're doing it for your performance. So a little bit of glitter on your finger. This is Wet n Wild. It's from the drugstore. And again, I'm really patting it into the center of my lips. You can drag it all the way out, but you don't have to. When you're doing your face, like essentially what you're doing is highlighting the natural places that light hits, and that the natural color that is in your face if you are at the peak of health. So you can kind of do the center with highlighter and then shade out from there. So there's my glittery lips. And I'm going to go take my makeup off, and we're going to do some more kind of fun looks. So I hope these were helpful. I can't imagine how long they're taking, or rather I'm surprised by how long they're taking. That's the way it goes.